With its beautiful beaches and crystalline water, this place is for many the perfect holiday destination. Considered as a place only a few have the privilege to visit, it might actually not be as far from your budget as you believe. Today, we're going to tell you which is the best and cheapest way to have a holiday in the Caribbean.
Who doesn't like to spend some holiday just far away from everything and sunbathing in the beach? Might not be everybody's favorite thing, but come on, we all enjoy it. And the Caribbean is the place that, at least I have been seeing since I was a kid. In TV series, in movies, in magazines, those beaches and the color of the water is what most people idealize when they think of a beach vacation. But being honest, every time that you see the Caribbean in TV, it's usually on a luxury cruise ship, on a 5-star hotel, or on somebody's mansion. So it is no surprise that a lot of people think it's something only a few can enjoy. But oh boy, we were so wrong. Usually, when most people start planning a holiday, they begin thinking of two things: flights and hotels. When it comes to flights to the Caribbean, there are several things that you need to consider. The price of the flight, of course, will change depending on the island that you're planning to visit, as well as the price of the hotel. And sometimes these two don't really play along well together. For example, St. Lucia is one of the islands where you can find cheaper accommodation, but because it's one of the furthest ones, flights can be more expensive. And also, some of the smallest islands in the Caribbean will require you to change flights once or twice so you can actually reach them. And this translates for you in less time being on the island. And when it comes to hotels, usually an all-inclusive hotel would sound like a better option. But having everything included will influence the price that you pay for the hotel. And all of these together can turn a Caribbean holiday into a very expensive, unreachable one. So, if you want to do it, you need to think outside the box and give a chance to an option that maybe you didn't consider before because you assumed it was very expensive. Didn't we all? Now, we're not saying this because we worked on a cruise ship, but it is because we worked on a cruise ship that we found out that the best and cheapest way to do the Caribbean is on a cruise. And no, they are not only for rich people. Actually, Caribbean cruises are some of the cheapest cruise ship itineraries that you can find. How cheap, you ask? Oh, well, cheap. And that is just a price that we found just randomly looking at the company's website, like not even actually looking for a deal. Obviously, the prices there are in pounds because we are in the United Kingdom. But if you convert it into dollars, you're talking about around 400 American dollars for 5 nights in a 5-star hotel in the Caribbean. If you want to look for a Caribbean holiday in an all-inclusive 5-star hotel, yeah, good luck with that.
What are the differences?
There are what we consider the two most important differences between an all-inclusive beach hotel and a cruise ship holiday. The first one is that during your cruise you're gonna have all your meals included. Now, we're not just talking about, oh yeah, that tastes nice kind of regular buffet food. We are talking about 5-star gourmet meals, especially during dinner. If you look for cruise reviews, you will find out that the food is actually one of the best parts of the experience. Yes, of course the drinks packages are not included in the price, but if you don't get a drinks package, that doesn't mean that you're gonna be drinking water the entire trip. Most cruise ships on the buffet area, they have a coffee station and an iced tea station as well. And during breakfast, usually the fruit juice is included. So it's really up to you and your budget if you want to add this on. And in second place, you need to remember that every cruise ship, doesn't matter the line, it's a 5-star floating hotel. The ships will be beautiful and elegant, which is one of the most important parts of the cruise experience, along of course with the entertainment on board, which is also included. And you're talking about proper theater shows. And being on a 5-star hotel also means that you're gonna get a 5-star service and 5-star facilities. So you will have a pool, you will have a gym, you will have a theater. And some cruise lines also do 1 or 2 formal nights per cruise. You don't get that in a regular all-inclusive hotel. In a cruise, you don't sacrifice style for budget. The cheapest cruise ship deals are usually for inside cabins. This means that you don't have a window or a balcony. But the cabins are still super nice. I mean, you're still in a 5-star hotel. If you want a different cabin, you can upgrade for an additional fee. Of course, that will depend on your budget. But think about this honestly. How much time are you really going to spend during the cruise inside your cabin? So, I wouldn't put a lot of thought into that. Now, price and quality are not the only reasons why we recommend to do the Caribbean in a cruise. The other reason is because the Caribbean, as many other beautiful destinations around the world, is formed by a bunch of little islands, more than 700 to be more specific, that comprises 31 different countries. So each island has its own charm and traditions, and if you go to a holiday only to one of those islands, you're kind of missing of all the other ones. I mean, I'm not saying that on a ship you're going to visit 700 of them, but you will visit the most popular ones. This will give you the chance to experience the Caribbean as a whole, rather than just as a single place. And you will get the full Caribbean experience.
Cruise ship itineraries.
When it comes to cruise ship itineraries, companies usually separate the Caribbean into Eastern Caribbean and Western Caribbean. It is all the Caribbean, and in both of them you will find the beautiful beaches and the crystal clear water that you want. The only thing that will change are of course the ports that you visit. And this will change as well the experience of holiday that you have. If you are in the mood for some walking, shopping and exciting discoveries, then the Western Caribbean is the itinerary that you're looking for. These cruises will include some of the smaller islands for the whole swimming and relaxing part of the experience, but they will also include other ports like Cuba, Mexico or Belize, which are bigger cities and give you the chance to do and discover a little bit more. For example, in Mexico, you could get a tour to go and visit one of the 7 wonders of the world, Chichen Itza. For these itineraries, of course, you will need a larger budget because you will need the money to go on the tours or also to experience and enjoy the larger cities. On the other hand, if you are in the mood for a more relaxing kind of beach holiday, then the Eastern Caribbean itineraries are what you are looking for. You will visit larger towns like St. Thomas or St. Martin Islands, but if all you want is to swim and sunbathe, you're not really missing anything else. Most of the focus of the islands that you will visit here is their beaches. This will help you, of course, if you have a bit of a tighter budget, because there are shopping places, but if all you want to do is go from the ship straight to the beach and back to the ship, you're still getting the whole Caribbean experience. There is a really cool add-on that doing the Caribbean in a cruise ship has, and it is that almost all cruise ship companies that do the Caribbean itineraries have its own private island, where only their passengers can go. So there are no crowds and you have the beach basically for yourself and for another 3,000 people. But still, there is no one else there and they're all spread around the island. For example, Princess Cruises' private island, it's called Princess Cay's. It is in the Bahamas and it is a beautiful 40-acre Caribbean island that is just beautiful to be there. Beautiful to be in that place. It's fantastic, it's amazing, super relaxing. And Royal Caribbean just opened their new private island called
Perfect Day at Coco Cay.
We have never been there before, but guys, oh my god, it looks amazing. Totally on our bucket list now. And now we have arrived to the tricky part.
How do you get to the ship?
Caribbean cruises usually start in places in the United States like Galveston in Texas, New Orleans in Louisiana, and Fort Lauderdale in Miami. So you need to make your way to these places to board the ship. If you live around any of these places, remember that all these ports have parking areas. So you can literally take your car, park it there, take the cruise, and you get an even cheaper holiday. But if you don't live around those places, it is important that you check flights to different airports before you book your cruise. Because, for example, a flight to Houston is going to be usually cheaper than a flight to Miami. So then a best option for you in that case is to get a cruise that leaves from Galveston. If you want to make the whole thing a little bit easier, there are many websites that offer you the cruise ship and the flight as whole deals, and they're honestly quite reasonable prices. Also, if you live in Mexico, you need to remember that flights to those areas of the United States are actually not crazy expensive. Sometimes it's actually cheaper to go there than to go within Mexico to Cancun. All you have to do is look for a good deal. If you live in Europe or in the United Kingdom, there is a website called Jack's Flight Club. It's a website that usually looks for bargains. And when we say bargains, we mean real bargains. They can find super cheap flights to a lot of destinations around the world. Down in the description below, we're going to leave the link so you can take a look at it. Now, before we leave, we just want to give you our very own personal favorite island recommendation. When you work on board a ship for several years, one of the itineraries that you are for sure going to repeat a few times is precisely the Caribbean. And we can say that from all the places that we visited in the Caribbean, our most favorite one is the Turks and Caicos Islands. More specifically, Grand Turk. We can't really say it's our most favorite one because that one would be down in Australia, but it is the second most beautiful beach we have ever seen. So if you get a chance to do a cruise to the Caribbean and you find a really good deal that includes Grand Turk, we totally recommend you to do it. We also recommend you to not miss our next video, in which we're going to be talking a little bit more about the Caribbean islands that we have visited. And we're going to go a little bit more in detail to what you can do in each one of them. Down in the description below, we're going to leave the links to some of the websites our friends have used to book their cruises and where they have found really good deals. But don't forget that the prices that we showed you before were taken straight from the Royal Caribbean's website. So it might be worth to take a look at the actual company's website, because you never know. There are several cruise lines that do the Caribbean itineraries. This is just a list of the more popular ones to help you to begin your research. And now tell us, is there a specific Caribbean island that you would like to visit? Or if you have been in the Caribbean before, which one is your favorite island? Also, if you have any comments, questions, or if you know about a website where you can find good flight deals in America, please let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like our video and also subscribe to our channel so you can join us in our next adventure. This is all Luis and I have for you today, but we will see you in the next one. Now go and book a Caribbean cruise and have a fantastic week.